if you could just understand that that's what makes you shine more than anything else ever, ever, ever will, your gratitude for that, your ability to let that go and still love yourself and still love life and still choose you and not abandon yourself and not give up on yourself and still get out there and say, okay, there's more for me out there in this world. I know it. I'm going to seek it out. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep listening to the call in my soul.
Welcome to the Soul Wide Open podcast with your host, author and certified trauma-informed coach, Michelle Renee.
Well, hello, everyone. I am so excited to be back with another episode of Soul Wide Open. I'm Michelle Renee, your host. And this little topic today really was inspired by a situation that happened last Friday night. So I was going out with a friend of mine just to grab a quick drink, and she had to leave and had other plans. And I had about an hour before one of my clients was getting ready to play a show at a local venue that I wasn't filming. And I really, really like this client and his wife and all the band members, and I wanted to just stop by and say hello. But on my way there, I had some time to kill. So what did I do? I stopped at home to feed the cats and check on them. And when I was walking out the door, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, that little nudging, that little whisper that tells you, that is guiding you to do something. And so many of us just ignore it. We just slough it off. We are too busy to even hear it. And it said, grab your camera, grab your gear. And I was like, well, okay, I wasn't really planning on doing anything tonight except for just saying hi and enjoying the music and not feeling like I'm working. But I grabbed my gear. I listened to that. And I show up and I have my camera. And the lighting's amazing. Everything is looking so good. And I'm thinking, okay, I just need to snap a few pictures. Like, I can't help myself. It's this compulsion for what I do to document that I really, really, really love. And so I grab my camera and I'm starting to take pictures, and they go on a break. And my client's wife, who I adore, comes up to me and goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe you showed up with your gear. We just got a call from somebody super, super important that wants us to film 2 very specific songs on stage with a full band. Is there any way that you can do that? And I was like, oh my gosh, I brought all my gear, even brought my camera mounted shotgun mic that I can set the whole thing up in the middle of the stage and capture this beautifully with great audio, great everything. And not only did showing up for that, oh, say hello to Spook. He's always trying to be around me, this one. He's such a little lover boy. Hi, but you can't be up here because I'm busy. So get down. Go on, get out. Not only was that a situation where I really felt like I not only listened to this calling that said, just go show up and bring your gear. But at the end of the night, and actually throughout the night, just meeting some of the other fans that were there, this really cute older couple that was there, that was out on the dance floor dancing. They had to be in their 80s, late 80s. I mean, they were this cutest older couple that had been married for years, loved to dance together. I ended up taking pictures of them and sending them to them onto their phone, connecting even more deeply and more without my camera constantly being the focus, with the band members and their family members. And then at the end of the night, I'm standing there and I'm talking to one of the band members' wives, and she introduces me to her twin daughters. And her twin daughters are both going to college, and one is much more analytical and into the research and into data, and the other one is really focusing on digital marketing. So they started asking me about what I do and how I became successful. And I was really telling them kind of the number one reason I have been able to turn something that I love so much into a business was not only because I really dove into getting a bunch of certifications for the digital marketing part of it, because I know being an ex-executive, I totally get high level thinkers that, they don't really want to be bothered with all of the minutia, necessarily the creativity and all of that. They want numbers. They want to see numbers. They want to see ROI. They want to see, how is this paying off? How is this helping our bottom line? So I was able to talk to her about that and some of the training that I have, but I was also able to talk to the gal who is much more the creative one, who really, for me, when it comes to my creativity and what has really taken me as far as I have been able to go in my career so far, is that exactly what happened that night. I show up to give. I show up to bless them. I don't show up for myself in a way that is selfish. When I show up for a client and I go film an event, I literally am there, and all I can think about the whole night is, from the angles that I'm getting, how is this going to help them increase their social media engagement? How is this going to help them sell more tickets? How is being so hyper aware of every single little thing going on and all of the little details going on? And right when I was talking to her about this, a little girl runs up with a hat that is my client's band hat, his hat logo, and wants his autograph. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this going on, and I look at her and I say, just like this moment right now, you have to be paying attention all the time, because you're here for them. You're here for what you can do to bless them. I'll be right back. Went and grabbed my camera. I had already put it away. I grabbed it really quick, ran up on the stage, and captured the sweetest moment of him signing this hat for this little girl, and then took a picture of them together. And she was so happy. She was so ecstatic. And this band, Trevor Underwood and his band, they are just so sweet and kind to every single one of their fans, whether they're 10 years old or 90 years old. I mean, they just appreciate every single fan. They're so kind. And then I went back to talk to this young lady who is really wanting to get into digital marketing and helping people and potentially bands and companies and market their business. And the way that I was explaining it to her, and that situation showing up, and the fact that I just showed up that night on a whim and said, I'm going to show up to serve with nothing else in my heart. I just want to connect and serve. And all of these situations just happened. It was really, really, really unbelievable to me. And one of the key things that stood out was that we meet people every single day in our lives. Every day. If we're getting up and we're we're pulling those bootstraps on, and we're getting out and we're being a part of life. We're not sitting in our house. We're not, woe is me. We're not waiting for permission to go do anything at all. Like, I just went and showed up and did this solo. I don't wait for other people anymore. I used to all the time. I'd be like, oh, I really want to go do this, but no one has the time to go with me, or no one has the money, or no one can get time off, or they're married and their husband isn't really a fan of them taking off for a whole long weekend, or whatever the case may be. And for a long time, I just didn't do the things that I wanted to do because I was waiting for somebody else to be able to go with me and do those things with me and go dancing and show up at a dance hall or show up at a bar to watch a sports game. I don't do any of that anymore. I show up anytime I want to go do something. It doesn't matter what it is. I am going to do it regardless if anybody else is going to be able to go with me or meet me there or anything at all. I got over that a really long time ago, and it has been one of the best evolutions for me since the kidnapping that I have incorporated in my every single day life is that I'm no longer going to live my life according to anybody else. I'm going to live my life according to who I am, according to what I'm being called to do, according to what is going to promote joy in my life, which, helps your mental health, which helps so many things. And when I showed up and all of that happened the other night, I couldn't help but think about all the other people I've been meeting in my life lately because I just show up places. And I've had a few relationships in my life lately, a few personal relationships in my life lately that, I just started to think, once we really begin to understand that this person, it's okay that this person is not going to be my forever person. This person might not be in my life forever. This person might not even be my friend forever. But when we show up and we understand, I'm just here to connect and bless other people and seek joy, and you're pure in those intentions, what shows up in our lives and who shows up in our lives, that only are we giving ourselves the opportunity to learn and grow and meet people who really become our teachers. And we become teachers for others all along the way, all along the path, all ages, all shapes and sizes, and men and women. And I think when we stop showing up and we stop listening to that calling and we let all the noise get in the way all the time. And part of that noise too is expectation. I fell into that trap recently. I stopped just being really grateful for the things that somebody woke up in me and reminded me of lately. And I started feeling like I was having more expectations of what this could become, or maybe this person could be a long-term relationship, or, maybe my forever love or something like that. Instead of really staying focused on what are the blessings coming from this. And don't get me wrong, like, you don't want to be in a situation where someone is being abusive to you in any way, whether they're abusing your emotions, whether they're abusing your time, whether they're, messing with you really in any way. You don't want to hang around for anything like that. But if you've got somebody in your life who came into your life like this band that I just showed up for, I just met them on a whim when I was out at a wine bar, and I went up to him to tell him how great his music was. And my friend told him what I do for a living, and he goes, "You've got to be kidding me. I just met with a big agency this morning, and they told me the very first thing that I need to do is go hire a videographer. And that meeting was this morning, and I'm meeting you right now here tonight. And now I'm working with him. Now he's my client, and I just had this amazing interaction with them when I just showed up to say hi, and spirit or whatever you want to call it just said, grab your camera. And I was able to show up and bless them. All of these little dots are connected. Am I going to work with him forever? I don't know. Do I think that he has what it takes to actually make it? Yeah, I do. I think this guy has something really, really special. And if he does, and they take me with them like they say they're going to, I will be so ecstatic. It's one of my biggest dreams to be a tour videographer and photographer for a great band, especially a country band. And a Texas band would be even more amazing. And if that happens, it will be just incredible. But none of that would even be possible if I didn't keep showing up. And I didn't show up in a selfless way and allow the blessings to keep coming and allow teachers to show up for me and myself to be open to being a teacher to others. And in my other relationships, I just had that epiphany lately. I started getting all very expectations, but I recognize exactly what this person has woken up in me, what this person has made me realize, how much of a teacher in certain ways this man has been for me. I mean, I didn't date or anything for 5 years. And I don't relationship hop. I don't really believe in that. I really believe from the last relationship that I was in, I needed time to process and heal and really make sure that all of that was cleared out of my system before getting involved in with anybody else into anything else, because otherwise it's not fair to me, it's not fair to him. I don't want to carry anything forward with me. So until I know I'm free and clear to just be like, I'm okay, I'm good, I'm ready. And it took me, this last one took me 5 years to get to be ready. And the guy that has been in my life for about 10 months now, he's still not ready, and it's been 13 years. There's no timeline for anybody. It's different for everyone. He may never get there, and that's okay. I can't expect him to get there just because he met me. I can't expect him to become a different guy just because I came along. That's his thing. That's on him. That's his responsibility. But what I can do is recognize what a great teacher he has been in certain ways, and set down my expectations and set down my attachment to the outcome, and set really good boundaries that work for me, and be totally in gratitude and be thankful, and still just go enjoy my life and date other people and still show up, like I keep saying, in a way that is just really pure in my intentions in every single way, in my business, in my personal life, with my friendships, everything, in everything. And for me, I just don't know when that is really truly your goal. How do you ever lose? Like, how do you ever lose? I just feel like there's no possible way to be on the losing end of something like that, and a life that's lived intentionally like that. And I've learned that through so much hardship, so much trauma, and understanding that, and I stay in a place where I allow hardships and challenges to literally keep me trapped. Whether it's in my house, I know a lot of people who they don't want to leave their house. They don't want to go to concerts anymore. They've given up. They've given up on themselves. And I have people reaching out to me from all over the world because of this podcast and my book and the movie and the 48 hours special and everything. And they talk to me about this. And it's heartbreaking to me that people don't understand that I don't want to see it, they're not the broken parts of us, but the parts of us that have been broken that we choose to pick up and piece back together in a really beautiful way, and look at them and sort of study them and understand them and see the beauty in the lessons in that pain and in that brokenness or in that challenge or in that heartache or in that loss, in that traumatic experience. If you could just understand that that's what makes you shine more than anything else ever, ever, ever will, your gratitude for that, your ability to let that go and still love yourself and still love life and still choose you and not abandon yourself and not give up on yourself and still get out there and say, okay, there's more for me out there in this world. I know it. I'm going to seek it out. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep listening to the call in my soul. And I'm going to show up, and I'm going to do it in the most selfless way. And sometimes I do it in a selfish way. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. I am sometimes. I go out and do things that are just just for me sometimes. And that's okay too. But I would say a good portion of my life, I want to show up in service. And I want to show up in a way that without even really knowing it, if this makes any sense at all, without even knowing it, you're inspiring other people to show up for themselves too, and to show up in a way that is in celebration. I just don't know how you can lose when you do that. And so I want to encourage everybody to just understand that if you keep listening and take action, don't let fear stop you and keep you from going out and showing up. Grab a hold of the vision of you that you really, really, really desire to be and go for that. Get magazines or look on Pinterest or whatever you need to do to go, this is how I want to start showing up in the world. This is how I want to start acting. This is how I want to speak. This is how I want to dance. This is how I want to, whatever it is, this is how I want to show up for my clients. This is how I want to show up at this concert. This is how I want to show up for my friends and my family. With the most fierce loyalty that I can possibly muster or imagine. And even when I know somebody isn't my forever, or I might never see that person again, I will never regret not knowing someone that has taught me something. That I have allowed myself to gain wisdom and knowledge and a lesson and an awakening because of somebody that I met, that I had in my life that might not be in my life anymore. How can you ever regret meeting somebody or loving somebody or being involved with somebody and interacting with somebody when there was such an exchange where hopefully you both learned something and gained something, even if it wasn't forever? And even if I never see those two amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, adorable, smart twins ever again, I hope that what I shared with them was just as valuable as what they shared with me. They were so curious and they were so invested. And they reminded me that to stay young in spirit and to stay that curious and to stay that inquisitive is something that I want to make sure I don't let go of. They reminded me of that. And the man that's been in my life for a while, that's not my forever guy, it's okay. He reminded me exactly how important it is to remain playful and passionate and spontaneous. And another man that I met a few months ago, who was just a friend, he reminded me of exactly how I deserve to be treated. He treats me like an absolute goddess. And I love that. I love the reminders, the messengers. Don't ignore them. And just because they might not be in your life forever doesn't mean they were not absolutely meant to be there to deliver this message, this lesson, some wisdom, something to you, and hopefully you return the favor. Keep showing up. Keep living with your soul wide open, and stop waiting for anybody else to get out there and live the absolute life that fills you up, that lights your soul on fire, that makes you just dance. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want to head on over to my Instagram, it's _Michelle Renee _. Come find me, follow me. If you love the show, like it, love it, please share it. That would be awesome. And leave me some comments on Instagram. I love it when I get DMs on Instagram and Facebook from people that go, oh my gosh, I really needed what you had to say today. This is exactly what I needed. So I want to hear, what is it about this message today that you needed, that resonated with you, that just made you feel like, oh my gosh, I've been sitting in the house too long. It's time for me to get up, get out, get it together, go find some joy with or with anybody else going with me, and live it like it is the best celebration. Because that, guess what? Life is the best celebration. I'll see you next time.